Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We have another episode of Nufftingz Speaks, and we're going to talk about something that y'all are going to be surprised about. So I want to talk about the podcast 6 Feet Under. Now, if you don't know 6 Feet Under, it's a podcast, obviously, and it's with Undertaker, Mark Callaway, and this other dude named Matt. And I did a script for it, so let me read the script to you first so you can get an idea of the background on it, and then I'm going to give you my take on it. So, here's my script. Today we're diving into something that's been blowing up in the wrestling and podcasting world. The drama behind 6 Feet Under, the podcast hosted by none other than the Undertaker himself, Mark Callaway. So here's the deal. The original version of the podcast, 6 Feet Under, with Mark Callaway, started off as a chill, story-driven show featuring Mark and his longtime friend and co-host, Matt Lida. I don't know how you say it. The two had great chemistry, and the vibe was real laid back. They'd share behind-the-scenes stories from the wrestling world, bring in guests, and keep it raw and unscripted, the kind of podcast wrestling fans love. And when you say raw and unscripted, that's my alley. I like it raw and unscripted. But carrying on. But then things changed. After 98 episodes, the show was quietly taken offline. Then a few months later, it was relaunched under a new title, 6 Feet Under with The Undertaker. This time, fully produced by WWE and Fanatics. Now it's WWE's official YouTube channel and streaming service. Now it's on, right? Here's where it gets a little awkward. Matt was dropped from the show. He was replaced by Michelle McCool, yes, the Undertaker's wife and WWE Hall of Famer, as the new co-host. So what happened? Matt recently explained in an interview that after they finished recording a batch of episodes, Mark personally told him that WWE would be taking over and the show was moving forward without him. Matt had no idea it was coming. Still, he said there's no bad blood. Just thought it caught him off guard, and they promised from the beginning that business wouldn't mess with their feelings. But let's be real. Fans have been talking. A lot of longtime listeners are saying the show has lost its soul. It used to feel authentic, just two friends talking wrestling and life. Now it feels more corporate, clean-cut, and way less personal. Some people are already saying that the new version doesn't hit the same, and they miss the original Matt and Mark chemistry. All right. So here's my take on it. And I watched all their episodes. I might have missed a couple, but I've watched a lot. I've seen Maven. I've seen all that. Now, Maven is a dude that I've been watching for a while. I think in my soul, my opinion, Maven is the greatest YouTuber ever. His content is just perfect. I mean, we could all say Mr. Beast makes the most money, but I feel Maven is just, it's like this man took courses and just got straight A's and just knew what to do. The man is perfect for this role, right? There's probably better people in the world, but they're not doing YouTube. Maven's a great person to watch, a great person to listen to. He just is perfect on camera. Like, bro, I can't be that good. And I'm like, dude, like, you are the man. He does a lot of things for the community. He talks to wrestlers. Like, he was there for the Buff Bagwell, Marcus Bagwell episode when he had to amputate his leg, which I watched and brought tears to my eyes because I used to love watching Buff. But the whole thing, I noticed when he was interviewing Matt that he was sort of being nice to The Undertaker. But I know for a fact, and I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth, but I don't think anyone respected what Undertaker did, what Mark Callaway did, right? And this has been a pressing thing that I've noticed. Now, I didn't even know, like, what happened to me, like, I was on YouTube, and I was like, yo, what happened to 6 Feet Under? Because I watched them all. I watched the Conan podcast with Disco Inferno, and I think Disco Inferno cuts off Conan a lot, and I think Conan should, tell him to F off and be like, bruh, can you stop? But I think that's their chemistry, and that's how they make money. I think that's not how they make money, but I think that little back and forth between them where he cuts him off and all that little tension draws in people. I think that's probably what they're doing, because I think Disco is disrespectful as hell. I listen to Jim Cornette. I think Jim Cornette is hilarious. I think he has good takes on a lot of stuff, but he's an older dude, so his takes would be more of the old school stuff, right? But I used to watch Jim Cornette back in the day when he had his little tennis racket and do all that. So, like, you know, I've seen a lot of these podcasts, right? Like, I watched the one with that guy, that British dude, and he talks to like Steven Ritzers, and he did Shane Douglas before, and I watch a lot of these. And I think that they're really well done, and it's good that we get to see a lot of the background stuff and all that. But the thing was, 6 Feet Under gave us real stories, and that was the whole thing. Like the guys that Undertaker and Matt were interviewing, like Midian, you know, like guys that, you know, had no filter, and they would speak on the real crap that they were doing back then. You know what I'm saying? Like if I saw a wrestler, like I met Kofi Kingston and all those guys like 10 years ago, right? They came to Battle Arts out in Mississauga, and I met them. And these guys that just came from a wrestling show, and they were miserable. And like when you would see them talking to Santino Marella, you know, he was there. It's his thing. Um, they were like wanting to go out and do some stuff. Like they wanted to go out and drink. They want to party. They want, like, it was cool, like seeing like these guys are just regular people, right? And you know, I remember when I was a kid, I went to go watch Yokozuna, and he was fighting, I think, Bret Hart at a house show, and he's like hitting Bret Hart with the flag, right? And like you can see that it was just so fake, but it was so funny. My uncle goes, "You know they're gonna get a beer after this," and I was like, "Bruh," like you just knew they were all cool, right? But that kayfabe was fun. Now, when you hear the stories on the amount of Jack Daniels these guys would drink and how they would, you know, spend all this money drinking, and you know the stories that they had. These are stories that we as fans would love to hear, because it just shows that even though you look up to these people, they're still just down to earth, regular human beings, you know, going to work and having a drink after. How much times you're at work, you know, even like people that work like hard jobs, like construction and all that, or any job, but they're stressed and they go home, and they don't go home right after. They go to the bar and they have a drink, or they go to you know, an X-rated bar and have a drink, and they hang with the homies and they go home. It's just like they're just like regular people. They go out, they do stuff, and they go home, right? Or they are, in their case, they go to hotels. The whole problem I have with the new setup, because I then saw an episode with Shawn Michaels, with Undertaker and Michelle McCool talking to Shawn Michaels, and it was such a boring podcast. Like, it was so boring. And like the thing I noticed about Shawn Michaels, every minute, again, like every sentence, it was like, dude, like, I'm not saying that he's speaking wrong, but you could also tell, like, when Michelle McCool would jump in, he sort of ignored her, because like, I know she was a diva back in the day, but I can't tell you anything I remember about her. Like, nothing. I don't remember nothing of her. And even that TV series that they have, was it LFG or whatever it's called? And you had Mickie James, who we all know, if you have any brains, is one of the greatest female wrestlers ever. You remember her stuff with Trish back in the day? That wasn't the only thing she did. I remember her on TNA. That woman is an unbelievable talent. And she was a great wrestler, and she was so fun to like listen talk. She's very attractive too. And it was just like, she was on the show, and Undertaker got her off and put his wife in there. I'm not saying not to hook up your wife with stuff, but dude, like, you're using your power to get your wife in stuff, and she's boring. Like, she's so boring. Like, oh my God. Like, I mean, dude, come on. I'm not dogging the man's wife. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever. I'm saying, for us as viewers, she's boring. Like, I can't emphasize that enough. She's so boring. You know what I'm saying? It's like talking to her is like pulling teeth. Like it was so weird. The other guy, the Matt dude, they had really good chemistry. Like, I really enjoyed it. And he had a thing where he'd always wear flip-flops. You know what I mean? Like, and people were dogging him, and I don't know why, that he was a bad host of The Undertaker. And I'm like, dude, they, information from the two of them just hit off each other. You know what I mean? It was such a good watch. Like, I enjoy, and these podcasts are like 45 minutes, an hour. Like when they did Jake the Snake, that was so long. And it's like when Matt was talking, even though he wasn't a wrestler, you knew he was a fan and you knew he respected the business. And that's the thing that I don't think Michelle McCool does. I mean, she's been hit with that I'm Undertaker's wife thing. You know what I mean? Like, she never should have been in the Hall of Fame. Seriously. Like, I'm going to be real. They should never have put her in there, but because they want to, keep Undertaker, Mark Callaway happy, they're going to do this stuff. But then it's cool to hook your wife up, bro. But why are you taking food out of people's mouth to hook your wife up who you're already taking care of, bro? You just want her to have extra income. But like, one of the things I don't understand, why would you want to work with your wife anyways? Like, like there should be some type of separation. I mean, I guess they love each other. That's great. I'm happy for you. Golf clap for it. But why does she need to be everywhere with you, homeboy? Like, like it's a little bit weird to me. Like, you could be like, yo, you're an idiot enough. But honestly, that's my thing. Like, if you guys did a separate podcast, and didn't have the other one, like one with Matt and one with her, then I'd be like, you know what? That's cool, man. Double work for you, but more stuff for you to make money off of and more for us to watch, right? But if it's like, to me, it would be like, if you were to do that, you would have noticed that people didn't want to watch her. And then she'd be all mad and probably yell at him and throw something at him or something. Who knows, right? I don't know their situation, but I'm saying, the dude that you had before, the Matt dude, it was perfect. And he handled it so well. Like, he was just like, oh, we weren't going to let things like this stop us from being friends. And he wanted to go hunting with him and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, that's respectable. And you know what the thing is too? Since it is The Undertaker, you're not going to want to not be his friend. Like, if you were to tell him, yo, F you, bro, you're a punk. Number one, he's probably going to punch you in the face, which I would hope he wouldn't. But you're not cool anymore. You lost, a very, God, what's the word here? A very big character in your life now. Like, I don't know how to say it. Like, you lost a celebrity friend. There you go. You lost a celebrity friend, right? And I mean, I guess those are cool to have. I've never had one. But, he really threw you under the bus, homeboy. And I mean, you can say whatever you want about, you gonna be friends and all that. But honestly, why would you even want a friend like that? Like, if it was me, I'd have been like, yo, you know what, bro? That's cool. We're boys, whatever. But then I wouldn't even holler at you anymore. I wouldn't call you. I wouldn't text you. If something big happened where you hit like 1 million subs on your channel, I'd be like, yo, good job, man. Hey, you want to go for a beer? Nah, bro, I'm sorry. I got some things to do with the wife today, but I'm going to holler at you next week. I would dodge him. Seriously, I don't care how celebrity he is, man. Respect is respect, bro. And then apparently he asked him, he goes, are we good? It's like, what's he going to tell you, bro? Nah, bro. Nah, we ain't good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it's your wife, man, but damn, bro. Like, you literally and it was this dude's idea. You weren't doing none of this before this dude jumped on. You know what I'm saying? If you watch the interview with Maven, he breaks it down that when they started, it was terrible. And then he came in, he brought ideas, and they did it, and they got big. Now, WWE jumps in and says, hey, man, we want to take it over. We'll give you this here money. And you're like, okay. Like, really? Undertaker? Really, Mark? Really? That's how you feeling right now? I shouldn't call you by your first name because I don't know you, but I should just call you Undertaker. Really, Undertaker? Like, that's how we feeling right now? You know, and also, like, am I wrong to say this? We see him all the time now. Aren't y'all tired of seeing him? Like, I liked it when he wasn't in everything. You know, I see this guy on like not on like one of these. Oh man, when his wife was getting God, I'm so dumb right now. When his wife was getting WWE Hall of Fame, right? They were at some like sit down place. Well, they were standing up, and he didn't even know. And then Triple H went on this screen. It was like a news channel, right? I can't remember where it was. I saw it on Instagram or something, and you know, he started to cry and all that. And I'm like, dude, that's nice. I said, oh, he really loves her. And, you know, he started to cry and all that. But before that even happened, I was like, dude, is he doing another talk with somebody? Like, we get it, man. Like, to me, he's doing what every one of these wrestlers do when they just can't let it go. You can't wrestle anymore, but you want to still be the man. You still want to be a center of attention. And it feels like he's doing that. And I mean, he deserves it, honestly, because he went how many years without ever talking to anybody and staying as The Undertaker. But it's gotten to that point now where it's like, bro, are you sure you want to just be in everything now? Like, I don't know, man. Like, okay, another podcast I watch is Booker T's and all that. So I do watch them all. I mean, like, but those guys, we already knew a little bit about them before. You know, we had no idea. Now we're learning. And it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, it's not the same thing, but it's sort of like Hogan. We all loved Hogan, but we don't like Terry Bollea. Like, I love Hogan, but people don't like Terry Bollea because of his thoughts on racism and stuff. We all love The Undertaker, but do we really like Mark Callaway? Like, that's the real question. You know what I mean? Like, that's the question I've been asking myself. And I'm just like, dude, do I? You know, I can't answer that because I need more information now. But after what he did to his boy, I don't know, man. I get it's your wife, but I don't know, man. That's a hard pill to swallow, man, because I wouldn't do that to somebody. You know what I mean? But, you know, it's whatever, right? Anyways, I hope they get their stuff worked out, and, you know, I hope that they can go back to, because we know that WWE is not going to have people like Midian and all them that talk nonsense, that talk about the real stuff, because they don't want people knowing, right? Maybe they will, but after the Shawn Michaels thing, I don't know. I didn't even watch the Gunther one. I was not going to. I was like, nope, I don't even want to watch it because it just feels like it's going to be so filtered. And I didn't want to hear that anymore. Like, I'm tired of hearing filtered stuff. But anyways, I'm done ranting. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know your opinion. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's my opinion. If you do like it, you're welcome. We all on the same page. We can go have a drink after. Anyways, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.